Here we are.
All right. So the Bitcoin ETF this week, what's been going on with that?
We've had significant inflows.
Yep.
Almost $1 billion.
Okay.
And so there's talk of that maybe sparking interest in the broader bull run, taking a run. I think if we get sustained inflows at $1 billion a week, that's kind of a sign that there's more interest. And so hopefully, what we talked about last time was things were a little slowed down.
Right.
Maybe that's just the consolidation and we're going to take a leg up because of more interest. It's not really clear yet, but it does look like it's turning. And Grayscale doesn't seem to be bleeding as much.
Right.
It's also down to about the value of assets as IBIT. So they've come back down into parity in the market. They're no longer the Goliath that they were at 40 billion. So they've taken a haircut.
Right. And Bitcoin's up to 66 today, 66,000.
Yeah.
Do you think the ETFs are yet driving the price of Bitcoin?
No, I think we're range bound right now.
Right. Okay.
It does appear that we're in a channel.
Right.
It's not really. A lot of people are saying a lot of different things, so it's not really clear which way we're going. If you look at the historical cycle, we're at what some people like Raoul Paul are calling the banana zone, where things are supposed to loop up. Just based on how they looked previously. Right. No guarantees there, but that's one of the views. Other people are saying there's not a fundamental shift for going higher. So it's all over the map. Right
so
now.
if this $1 billion like this, you were thinking a week, is pouring into the ETFs, why is the Bitcoin price not spiking based on that yet? Because they have to be buying their Bitcoin somewhere, but they're obviously buying it off chain, right? They're getting it on the ledger at Coinbase.
Well, somebody holds it and they're selling it. But if they're selling it like a peer-to-peer thing and it's not on an exchange, then you're not putting pressure on the open liquidity.
And that's why we're not seeing the price spike on Bitcoin, even though this money's pouring into the ETFs.
Yeah, I think what we're doing is we're taking it out of from under the carpet or under the seat cushion and whatnot, and taking all of the stuff that's laying around and kind of sucking it up slowly.
Has anyone identified the BlackRock wallet for IBIT?
So there are some challenges about wallets, and people are saying that there's not as much transparency there as they'd like.
Yeah.
There's a hunt on. There's a digital hunt on for wallets, but there's also obfuscation in the custody because Coinbase is the custodian. And is it in a Coinbase wallet? Is it in a wallet that was generated by Coinbase for the purposes of a client?
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of transparency, so we don't really know, exactly how they're playing the game of holding the asset. We do know that they have a requirement to hold the asset through a custodian, and that the custodian is Coinbase. But Coinbase is a big player, and they have lots of, it's a many-headed beast.
So actually, just using BlackRock as an example, they don't have to have a wallet. No. The custodian is Coinbase, so they're the wallet.
Yeah.
So
if they were, well, think of it this way. Let's just say that you have these assets and you hold them in cold storage, and so just like you might hold the shares of a traditional firm. Where you put them in the safe and they're stored in the safe.
Right.
Well, you got some for this client, some for that client, some for the other client. Now, those might all be wallets in your name digitally, but they're all basically in the safe or a separate safe for each customer, depending on how you want to look at that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to move. How much movement do you need if they just transfer ownership of the wallet itself?
Right.
I mean, what if they put $100 million per wallet, and then that's like the max, and so they have some or so many Bitcoin per wallet or something like this, and so that the transfer occurs and it's 25 Bitcoin or it's $2 million worth of value. However, there could be a structure in there where they don't actually have to move it on chain.
Right. It's just sitting in a ledger at Coinbase, and they just identify that, BlackRock now owns this, but it doesn't move anywhere.
Yeah. So I don't know how that works with commingling of customer funds and those kinds of laws with the SEC or the financial regulators.
Yeah.
But I do know that I'm sure that they could find a way to segregate without having to show their cards.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's part of what they're doing is they're not showing their cards. And maybe that means there's a Bitcoin in a bunch of wallets and they just take a bunch of ledgers and put them in a physical safe. I mean, I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Right. But I know that they're playing a game with the custodian for how they acquire it and how they hold it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is making it hard for digital sleuths to put their finger on exactly where that asset sits.
Right. So there may never be a BlackRock wallet that people identify. I bet there's not going to be.
I don't know why that would be good for them. So
Right.
I don't know why they would share it. Right. So
Yeah.
you're going to have to find out.